There are games that have a lot of ambitious ideas, get published by a company that you trust, seem almost destined to succeed, and yet seem to become a big-time disappointment. Games like Lair, 2 Human, Alpha Protocol, and so forth. EVO The Search for Eden has the added bonus of being a game my brother loves, and I think now is a very overrated game. I've played it from time to time, and I see it for its ambition, but there are gameplay elements that make me think that he has overrated over time. The development history is kind of obscure. It was developed by Almanac Corp, published by NX, and released in July of 1992. We all know who NX is by now. They have published so many classics over the years. The most famous is the Dragon Warrior or Dragon Quest series. Almanac Corp, on the other hand, is somewhat built and died on obscurity. According to Wikipedia, the company was founded in 1991 in Tokyo, Japan by Takahashi Yoneda, who previously worked for Technos Japan and NX. Under that name, they only released 4 games in North America, with 3 others that were Japan only before becoming E.V.O Corp in 1995. The games we got were Fighting Masters for the Sega Master System, EVO The Search for Eden, Mazen Saga Mutant Fighter for the Sega Genesis, and Shien's Revenge for the SNES. Under the name E.V.O Corp, they released 1 more game for North American markets, with 3 others only being in Japan until slowly dissolving in 1998. The game we got was Cosmic Carnage for the Sega 32X. So it seems NX didn't employ their main go-to guys for this game. They sent off one of their own to start up a company. He got one good idea, made a little money off of it, and disappeared. As for the storyline, it's not all that deep. According to Wikipedia, EVO tells a mythical saga of life's evolution on Earth, with a subtext of creation, myth, and holistic evolution. The player takes on the role of one of many of billions of life forms created by Gaia, the nurturing and benevolent daughter of Soul of the Sun. Among the creatures known as life, there's a competition to evolve, and the best life form will eventually be granted the privilege of entering the Garden of Eden and becoming the husband and partner of Gaia. Not all that compelling, but it's still pretty unique for its time. The graphics are pretty good for a 1992 SNES game. The levels are fairly big. They have a fair bit of room for you to swim or run around in, and there are multiple areas for you to explore. The art is also fairly well done. It has a very Legend of Zelda 1 feel to it. Monsters have a ton of detail, and in general for the time, it feels like what next generation quality games should look like. My only problem is that the levels can feel claustrophobic. Since you can increase the size of your character, you get less and less room to fight in. It's not that the camera isn't too close, it's that there's so much clutter that getting hit by enemies will happen often, and at times there isn't a lot of room to run around in. The audio is pretty good. It reminds me of what a game like Saga Frontier would have in it. It's very melodic, appropriate for what's going on at that moment, and it fits the theme in general. It's not quite as good as Dragon Warrior, but it holds its own. The gameplay is flawed. It's a very ambitious game, but among my friends, it's a very overrated game. The game itself is an action RPG where you go around eating monsters and gain points to spend on upgrades that boost your stat. You start off as a tiny fish, but eventually you go to land and become a dinosaur and eat other dinosaurs. That's pretty much all there is to gameplay, but it has some serious flaws. The biggest problem I have with the game is how brutal the learning curve is. The game will chop off your hand with no remorse right around the first boss. This is partially because of the fact that there's no after-hit invincibility. If you get hit once, you could get stun locked and destroyed with no chance to respond. This in turn can detract some players because you have to plan out every single attack for every single enemy on screen, because if they find a way to stun lock you, guess what? That's probably what's gonna happen. With that said, if the controls suck, then this game would be even worse, and thankfully they don't. Controls feel tight, and try to make this a game where if you die, it's your own fault. At the end of the day, this game still has problems that its ambition and great controls can't make up for. This could have been a really cool and ambitious game. I like the concept of going through the process of evolution, but this is a flawed experiment that people have turned into a cult classic. Overall, EVO The Search for Eden is a great concept with some serious flaws. The aforementioned gameplay elements are the biggest things that keep it from being great. I might not have the patience to see its true potential right now, but I respect. It's a decent game and there's fun to be had. It's just that you have to get past some serious flaws to see its true beauty. I give it a 7 out of 10.